Hey guys, hope you're doing great. Welcome to my next reharmonization video. Today I want to talk to you about how you can simply reharmonize and change the color of a very simple pop chord progression, diatonic. The example is going to be in C major. It's just a 4-chord loop. So if you're like a producer or songwriter just working with 4 chords, kind of looping and creating a nice vibe, you might want to have some repertoire so that you can have variation on those chords and make it sound pretty interesting. Okay, so let's get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this very simple C major chord progression. It's going to be based on 1, 4, 5. So it's going to go C, triad, then C first inversion, going to the 4, which is F, and then G. We've all heard that before, and here's how that sounds. All right, great. So very simple, very cool, very common. Now, how can I make something that common start to sound a little more interesting? So when we reharmonize, the concept of reharmonization can be pretty simple. It doesn't have to be something complicated. It can mean replacing chords. It could mean adding more chords, so accelerating the harmonic rhythm, meaning like putting more chords where before we had 1, now we might have 2. That gives a little push and sophistication. We can add tensions. Maybe they're not on the melody, but we can add some chord extensions down below on the chord. Or we can start replacing chords within the same function or different functions. So that's what I'm going to show you now. So the second option, I'm going to keep it very diatonic. My first chord, it's still going to be C major. Now my second chord is going to be E minor 7. So a little different than before we had a C in first inversion. Now that's going to go to now an F major 9. So F major 7 basically with the 9, adding a little more, see, more like an R&B vibe with a major 7 chords. And finally, the 5 chord. I haven't changed it, but instead of a regular G, I'm adding a G7 sus4, like a sus chord, has a little less, less obviousness to it. And then I'm doing the flat 9. So you're going to hear that instantly darkens the sound of my cadence, kind of jazzy it up. So here's that example. All right, guys, hope you like that. So the next one, let's have another variation, maybe a little more jazzy and more complicated, a little more tension to it. So how about now we do the first chord, a C major 7 instead of a regular C triad. Now the second measure, instead of just having an E minor 7 or a C in first inversion, I'm going to target that F major 7 that's going to come up right after with a 2-5. Now, instead of a regular 2-5, I'm going to add a little chromaticism. So I'm going to do a G minor 7, goes down to a G flat 7, and goes down to that F major 7, creating this really nice chromatic, jazzy, kind of a gorgeous sound. I love that kind of stuff. And this is great, more kind of soulish, jazzier. And then after that, I'm replacing that G7. Instead of a G7, I'm putting a B flat 7. So that B flat 7, where does it come from? It's modal interchange. And one of the topics that I teach on my courses and on my online lessons, which is basically borrowing chords from the parallel minor keys. We're in C major, we're borrowing the B flat 7 from C minor. Okay, and this just makes it sound so bluesy and great. Let's hear that. All right, guys, now let's hear the last example. Now, how about we change that first chord? Instead of a C major 7, we put an A minor 7. It's from the same function. They're both tonic functions if you look at your regular diatonic functions. So A minor 7, pretty similar sound, just it's going to be darker. Now, instead of approaching an F major 7, which we did before, how about we change it for another chord of the same function? Similar. So an F major 7 is a subdominant. How about we do a D minor 7, which is also subdominant? Now, my second chord, so my chord in between, is going to be the substitute dominant to that. I'm going to use, well, you could use a regular dominant, an A7, but for me, I'm going to use the E flat 7 to approach chromatically and beautifully that D minor 7. So it's going to be A minor 7, E flat 7, D minor 7. And now at the end, instead of that regular G7, I'm going to put a substitute dominant again. So a D flat 7. And all of this with the tensions, sharp 11s and stuff like that. If you're interested in keeping learning about this, follow my Instagram account, Lorenzo Ferrero Music, DM me, and I'll be happy to work online lessons with you or also, you know, I always keep posting videos and tutorials, so subscribe and keep updated. But let's see how that last option sounds like. Here we go. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Remember, you know, reharmonization is something that it can be simpler, it can be simple, it doesn't have to be something complicated. And it's a beautiful thing. It can help you really change the sound of your music, give you countless ideas when you're writing music, and even when you're improvising. It's a great resource to use. So if you enjoyed, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be posting a lot more videos like this. And remember, follow me on Instagram, Lorenzo Ferrero Music. I constantly post stuff like this. So I'll see you on the next video. Take care, guys.